from Accra, Ghana. You're welcome to the Hello Africa Morning Show, brought to you by the Association of African Universities and proudly sponsored by Vena Purified Water and Biko Drinks. My name is Isabella Teta Hinakwa, and I'm here with my co-host,
Naomi Dako.
Naomi,
Thank you for joining us.
Great. What do we have for our viewers today?
So today, definitely we are going to do some top African news stories. We are going to talk about the launch of a new association in Ghana, the Association of Professional Development Communicators Ghana. And we are also going to be talking about the 5th Annual Ghana School on Internet Governance, Ghana SIG Capacity Building Fellowship, which was hosted in the AAU or at the AAU here in Accra, Ghana. In lifestyle, we are going to be talking about the Ghanaian chef who faked his Guinness World Record certificate. And we'll delve into that discussion. Okay. And in entertainment, we're going to be talking about, or we'll be discussing some of the African acts who were present or participated in the 2024 BET Awards. Specifically, we are going to be looking at Thames and tireless representation of the Black community over there. And there's also the news that Morocco will be hosting the AAU's General Conference in July 2024. So we'll be bringing you more details in these and many other stories.
Great. These are quite interesting stories. And also we have two guests who will be joining us to give more details,
more information about some of the news items that we gathered over the week.
Right. And I know you wouldn't want to miss this interesting discussion. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Biko Drinks.
Thank you for staying with us. You can join in a discussion by following us on our social media pages at Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAU TV Official on Instagram, and AAUTV_universities on X. To our first story, the first ever Association of Professional Development Communicators Ghana, APDC Ghana, has officially been launched on 5th July 2024. The aim of the association is rounded around promoting best practices in development communication, capacity building for communicators, advocating for marginalized voices, and addressing challenges in health, education, agriculture, environment, and governance sectors. APDC Ghana seeks to foster collaboration, behavior change, and community engagement using diverse communication methods and partnerships to enhance national development. Some keynote speakers and guests who graced the occasion was the Lebanese ambassador to Ghana and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in Ghana, His Excellency Meheke, Chartered Management Consultant and Research Analyst in International Climate Conflict, Peace and Security, Dr. Elvis Manumuleng Buta, Vice President of IPR.
Development communicators and practitioners, we envision a sustainably developed nation, a nation in which all can access basic amenities such as good health facilities and services, potable drinking water, school structures, good roads, peace and security, just to mention but a few, ensuring inclusivity and equality.
Okay, so this association, if you look at the objectives they actually spelled out, if those objectives are anything to go by, you will come to the realization that they did indicate that their platform will be a platform for capacity building. That alone is enough. Capacity building will afford Party A, Party B to bring their communicators for an objective body to train them. It will also give us the opportunity to allow for civil society, private firms, the media, to sit with these people for appropriate, technical and intellectual-based training, to communicators, to journalists, to other, development partners, to be able to not only understand strategic communication, but to also assimilate to global standards, in that domain. So for me, that's a banker for us.
All right, so we'll be engaging the president of the Association of Professional Development Communicators Ghana, Ruth Abanga, to give us more information about this launch and what the association seeks to bring to the development of Africa in general. Ruth, thank you for joining us this morning. How are you doing?
Hi, Naomi. Thank you for
Hi, Ruth. Can you
hosting
hear me?
me. I am really honored. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Naomi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
So basically, we want you to give us more information about the APDC Ghana. You talked about, or we gave a brief about the aims and objectives of the association, but I want to know, what was the core vision or drive for the establishment of it in the first place?
Okay, Naomi, thank you so much for having me this morning. Good morning to you and your viewers. I am actually honored to be on your platform, and I really appreciate that and hope that we would establish a strong collaboration after today. So, APDC Ghana is an association for professional development, communicators, and practitioners in Ghana. So, what we seek to do is to leverage diverse communication means to enable us advocate and promote development in Ghana and beyond. What we seek to do is to employ diverse communication strategies usually are not being employed by the regular communicators or communication experts. So what happens is that we go beyond communication to share information, and we delve deeper into communication that brings social change, that brings development. And not just any type of development, but a rapid, progressive development. So, APDC Ghana is an association for professionals, those in academia and professionals on ground who would together bring their expertise to ensure the development of Ghana.
Talk more about communications. What specific programs or initiatives do you have in place to ensure that you are able to achieve the goals that you have planned as an association?
Okay, so before I answer that, I must also say that it is our desire to see a sustainably developed Ghana that influenced the establishment of this association. And to achieve this, or to achieve this sustainable development we so desire, we need to put in place one or two that will aid us to success. Now, I always say, before you go out there trying to change someone or change something, you first need to prepare yourself. So, for this reason, we would embark on professional development, which includes seminars, trainings, and all other developmental, professional development projects that would enhance us as professionals in the field. We need to build our capacity, build our knowledge to be able to influence, promote the development we seek. So that is the first thing we would be looking to embark on advocacy campaigns. It means we are going to look at development issues, pick them up, and advocate for change, advocate for solutions, advocate for them to be addressed by the appropriate stakeholders. So, as part of our communication strategy, we would engage the appropriate stakeholders. We won't just be communicating to the public, to the general public, because it is important to communicate to the general public, but you first need to identify who can address that development issue. Then we communicate to them directly. We get solution to that particular development issue, and then we can carry it out to the public. So we are going to be very strategic in our communication. Where there is a need to communicate directly to the public, we do that. Where there is the need to communicate to a specific group of people who, in this case, might be the stakeholders involved in solving or addressing this particular issue, then we are going to channel our energy in engaging those stakeholders. We would also come out with network opportunities for our members and all other people who are on board, including our stakeholders, our partners. Yes, so we would strengthen our network base, because the truth is, before you can achieve anything, you cannot do that in vacuum. You would need to build an environment that supports that. And so we envision a very strong network base, and that we are going to concentrate on getting that done. We would also embark on research and publications to enable some of these development issues to be addressed. Let me put it that way. So these are some of the programs we would be coming out with. For our members, yes, rest assured we would embark on training, seminars, and all these other professional development programs for them.
Initiatives or programs that you have planned for the association. But looking at what you seek to do, how will you, or how will the association ensure its long-term sustainability in terms of like funding? How are you going to ensure that you still have your members on board, you don't lose some of your members to other associations, and what will be your strategy for funding?
Okay, so funding and resources is key in every project, especially for our association, since we intend to push or promote development. We would certainly need funding. First of all, to be a member of every other professional body or organization, you need to pay dues, you need to pay your fees, membership fees. So for that, we would definitely look into that. And our members would have to pay their dues and fees as well. Going beyond that, we will be looking at diverse ways of raising resources: sponsorships, partnership, fundraisings. We would embark on professional trainings where we can even allow external people to join at a fee, and this will be our way of raising funds for our projects. We would also ensure that we use lots of strategic partnership, because you see, most of these projects we would be embarking on, we cannot just wake up and start going around and just doing them. We need to partner. There are non-governmental organizations, developmental organizations, civil society organizations who are out there who really want to embark on projects that will aid in development. Now, some of the challenges these organizations face is they are unable to identify the very right project. And this is because you need lots of research going in there. You need lots of expertise coming in there. And then the Association of Professional Development Communicators offer these resources, offer these professional aspects which these organizations need. And so we would utilize this part of our resources, that is our expertise. We would utilize it and then partner with these other organizations. And once we partner with them, they have the resources, they have the money, they have the financial capabilities. Yes, so we partner them and then we carry out these projects we intend to. I don't know if I have answered your question.
Yes, I think it did. Thank you so much. I'm now looking at APDC Ghana and then trying to form partnerships or collaborations with other development communicators from other countries. You know, in as much as we want to just focus on Ghana, we are looking at how the other parts of the continent would benefit from these developmental projects that we will be embarking on. So I want to know from you, you've talked about partnership, you've talked about collaboration, but how are you seeking to bring on board people or other development communicators from other countries to ensure the success of this association?
So, just as you mentioned, we can benefit from this, right? How we can benefit from our collaboration with other African countries. We won't just be looking at it from a one-way benefit. We are going to look at it from a two-way angle where we can benefit and they can also benefit from us. So we have plans in place. In fact, let me say plans are far advanced, engaging some of these development communicators or professionals in other countries. The truth is, development has become a global issue, especially in Ghana, in Africa and Ghana. And so we won't be looking at development only from the angle of in Ghana, but we are looking at development in Africa and globally. Globally, yes, the world has moved very fast. The world has developed so fast, and Africa, we are still lagging behind. So it is just right for us to collaborate with brothers and sisters in other African countries to ensure development. So in doing this, we seek to establish a very strong network base with our African brothers and sisters from other countries who are in the field of development community. And by doing that, we plan or we are working towards training programs with them, either in Ghana or in other African countries where we can share knowledge, share us, and also a continuous adaptation of our practices that can lead to development. So I must say plans are far advanced in ensuring that there is that global connection in Africa and beyond the international community as well. So we have looked at that and then we are strategizing. We would keep strategizing until we get to our destination, which is our vision and our mission.
Ruth, for joining us. Do you have any final words to anybody who is a development communicator in Ghana or even outside of Ghana? Your final words.
Yeah, so I just want to encourage development communicators, all development practitioners, all experts in this field to come on board because development has become a critical issue. Now we just sit down, fold our arms, and allow Ghana to develop progressively in a very default way. We need to be very intentional about our development. And so we need all hands on board. We need our senior members, our experts and professionals who have been in this field for years. They should all come on board with their experiences. And if you are a development communicator, this is our time. This is the time to change the world. Come on board, participate, ensure that you are contributing to Ghana's development, ensure you are contributing to the change you desire. We also wish to seek support from government and all other stakeholders, non-governmental organizations, even governmental agencies to come on board and help us in providing resources. The resources could be in cash, in kind, whatever resources that they can offer, they should come on board and we can push Ghana to where we want Ghana to be. We can actually push Ghana to the point where we can comfortably say we are sustainably developed. There are lots of people out there who really need the help and assistance of development communicators. There are lots of people out there whose voices are not being heard, the marginalized, the excluded in the society. They all need our support. And to get this done, we need the help of our stakeholders. We need all members on board. And trust me, if all things work out well in the near future, we would be back on this platform and we would be celebrating because we have contributed significantly to the development of Ghana.
On the
Hi, Naomi.
you all the best with this new initiative coming out from the University of Media, Arts and Communications in Accra, Ghana. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, away from that
Thank you.
story,
Thank you for having me.
Morocco is set to be the host for the Association of African Universities' 16th Quadrennial General Conference scheduled for July 2025. Now, the president of the AAU, Professor Bakri Said, the Secretary General, Professor Olushola Bandele Oyewole, the Director of ICT, Communications and Knowledge Management, Ms. Nojmo Dlamini, and the Executive Secretary, Josiane Tali Susu, were in Morocco for the country's hosting of the AAU's General Conference. The General Conference, comprising representatives of members, associate members and observers, is the supreme authority of the association and is responsible for determining the general policies of the AAU or the association. It is usually a 5-day event centered around issues in Africa and will be hosted in one of the institutions in Morocco. Isabella,
Hello.
what are your expectations for the general conference?
Well, first of all, I would like to say congratulations to Morocco
Yeah.
for having this opportunity
Yeah.
to host the AAU's General Conference, because I think I saw a call for hosting.
Yeah, co-hosting,
member,
yeah.
member universities in good standing to apply and then host this initiative or this program. And I think probably Morocco presented a good bid.
Yes.
And then had the opportunity
Yes.
to host us.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it because I know that a lot of people would love to tour Morocco. I remember when Namibia won the bid to co-host the Conference of Rectors, Vice Chancellors and Presidents. Most of the participants loved the country, and that is the exposure that the AAU seeks to give to its members. It's not just about you just hosting, coming on board, doing something, or paying membership dues, but some of the visibilities that come with co-hosting these events. I know that co-hosting these important events on the calendar of the AAU or the higher education community, basically, it will provide a very high level visibility and exposure to the host institution and country because of the caliber and number of academic leaders, policymakers, researchers, development partners, industry and other stakeholders that usually attend it. So it's not just about the AAU members coming to participate in the event. We ensure that we bring development partners on board, like the World Bank, the USAID, Carnegie Corporation of New York,
African Union.
African Union. We try as much as possible to bring all of these people. And so if you you win the bid to co-host, and then your institution also wins to host the event on your campus, definitely we are giving some visibility to you. And I remember when we went to Namibia, there were lots of MOUs that were signed on ground because the vice chancellors, the vice chancellors were able to meet the vice chancellor of UNAM, University of Namibia, and they talked, they had discussions and realized that there is the need for us to collaborate it. So it was a very good
and also currently I think I've been seeing a lot of international conference happening in Morocco, and for them to get the opportunity to host this event, it showcases their their willingness or their commitment to improve Africa's higher education. And I think it's a good applause to them. They've really done very well.
And it's actually held in 2 parts.
Yes.
So we have the first part, which focuses, it's like the business session, which evaluates the performance of the AAU in the preceding 4 years and approves of the programs for the subsequent 4 years.
And members will be elected, 50 members will be elected to govern the next 4 years.
Yes. And then the second part is the scientific discussions of the theme and then sub-themes of the conference under the core VIP, which was held. So we have the reports available, and these will be discussed during the second session of the general conference.
Okay, so it's not like they are going to organize a core VIP day, but rather discussions on the theme, the previous.
So, you know, core VIP is held every 2 years, and then the general conference is held every 4 years. So it means that what we are going to be doing is we'll be having general conference alongside COREVIP, Conference of Rectors, Vice Chancellors. And so the second part of the general conference is where the discussions, the scientific discussions of the theme that will be decided on or will be approved by the board will then be discussed amongst the AAU members. So basically that's what will be happening, and we're looking forward to all of our members participating in this event. We'll give you more details as and when they're available. So do stay tuned.
All right, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the top African news. Please stay tuned.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
I'm here with the Association of African Universities Television, AUTV. I just want to say that without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it, AUTV.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Thank you for sticking with us, and still on the top African news and also on AAU's collaboration with other higher education institutions, the E-Governance and Internet Governance Foundation for Africa, as part of their partnership with the AAU, organized the 5th Annual Ghana School on Internet Governance, Ghana SIG Fellowship, which happened here at the AAU Secretariat. This 4-day event marks 5 years of significant contributions to internet governance under the theme, Celebrating 5 Years of Making Drastic Impact in Internet Governance. The fellowship hosted several participants from Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Ivory Coast, Ethiopia, Kenya, and the United States. Through comprehensive training and collaboration, Ghana SIG aims to equip a new generation of leaders with the skills to navigate the complexity of the digital age with integrity and foresight. Now, participants delved into internet governance principles, advocate for digital rights, and influence policies that benefit all citizens. So I think this is a very good initiative when we talk about capacity building. It's one of the main solutions to developing Africa and also finding solutions for our challenges. We are joined here by the founder and also the president of e-governance and internet governance foundation for Africa, who goes by the name Mr. Raymond, yes, Mamata. Yeah, hello, Mr. Mamata, you're welcome. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Great.
Team Edwoa is happy to be presented here.
Great. And also, I must say congratulations for your initiative and your past fellowship program.
Thank you.
It was really great. I participated. I joined once a while.
Thank you. We hope you learned quite a lot.
Yes, I did. Now, I'd like you to briefly tell us about the Ghana SIG program and its goals.
Okay. So Ghana School on Internet Governance Fellowship is a fellowship program that we organize annually, and it is organized by the e-Governance and Internet Governance Foundation for Africa.
Okay.
So we've been doing it for 5 years, and this is our 5th year, and it's an annual event. So our goal is mainly to equip the participants with the necessary skills that they need to engage in internet governance approaches and policy-making processes globally. And we also aim to equip Ghanaians and other stakeholders. However, our scope has changed from last year to this year because we realized that a lot of other nationals from other countries are also showing interest.
Okay.
So last year we got our first participant from Zambia who came to Ghana.
Oh, nice.
And this year we've broadened it to USA, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and many other countries.
Oh, nice. So you keep spreading your participants across other African and also worldwide.
Sure,
Interesting. Yes. And also, looking at the event, I noticed that you did the first one online and then the second part face-to-face. Is that how you do it every year, each year?
Yes.
Okay.
Every year we make sure we do the online courses first. So our process is in 2 stages.
Okay.
After the selection, you do the online courses. And those who do all the online courses and all the online activities, they now move on to the face-to-face.
Oh, nice.
So if you don't complete the online activities, you didn't make it to the 5th year.
Interesting. You made mention this is your 5th year organizing the program. I'm interested to know some of the impact or what you've contributed to internet governance in Africa so far.
Okay. So internet governance is global. It is not only in Africa.
Okay.
So I will talk about Africa, then the global impact. And we are in the scope where everybody engages from the various stakeholder groups. So our impact here is we've contributed enough people who are well skilled to participate in the policy formulation and also the various engagement in the broader scope. So in Africa, if we want to talk about that, we produced one of the best fellows that is even acknowledged by one of the presenters during the face-to-face. Because we are very consistent in these 5 years, and we've been making Africa proud in that we also produce people who gain other fellowships on broader skills. So this has really engaged, make us produce the very effective fellows that are making Africa really proud and of course Ghana proud.
Interesting. You know, mostly some of these initiatives are to find solutions to some of the problems we are facing. And looking at your focus, which is internet governance, someone will ask, why that? Why internet governance? What are the importance of this main topic to you?
Okay, so internet is like water to everybody now. Everybody uses the internet. Hence, we all need to participate in ensuring that the policies that are made that does not come against anybody. So if we say we are Ghanaians, we are not going into the policy formulation processes to air our views on how we think we can also contribute towards the policy. When the policy is made, whether you participate in it or not, it will impact on you. Hence, the need for us to get engaged in that aspect. For instance, I am representing the end users in the domain transfer policy. So if we don't go there and tell them what will be the interest of the end users on the domain transfer aspect, the business aspect may take control over the whole policy stage. Hence, we will not have our views to be heard, and our aspect that needs to be taken into consideration, we need to be taken notice of. That is the need why everybody must engage in internet governance. Most of us use the internet. If you don't engage, whether the policy is in your favor or not, as long as you don't participate in the policy formulation, it will have an impact on you.
Okay, you know, when we talk about fellowship, some people think it is just meant for students or people in the academic. Now, who are your participants? Who do you seek to involve in this fellowship program?
Okay, so we call it fellowship because it is not a school, and it is a training that we organize. Hence, we attract people who are interested to learn more about it. And I'll mention some few. We have the IT professionals, we have the doctors, we have the nurses, we have the cybersecurity professionals. So we have people that cut across all lawyers. It cuts across all professions. So it is not students, these are professionals. However, we make room for some students also to participate. So this year we've gotten some students from Unimac and from Cape Coast University. And in the past, we've gotten students from other institutions. So it is not a student focus, it is for professionals and also including the students.
Interesting. And also, we're based on the diverse participants you just gave. What are some of the topics referencing the past or just the past program you just held? What are some of the topics that you talked on?
Okay, so for instance, this year we talk about the gender inclusion, and we've gotten an expert from one of the telcos who came to speak, and of course a lady to speak on it. And we've also gotten one of the professionals who spoke on cybersecurity in business aspect. And most importantly, since we are mainly into internet governance, we've gotten Sean from Nigeria who shared his experience on his engagement in the internet governance ecosystem. And on the last day, we don't only equip these people with the knowledge. We don't say do this or do that, only do that. However, in the last day, I take them through the various stakeholders that they can practically engage in. So we teach them how to do the fishing, how to do the cooking, and how to do the eating.
Nice, interesting, that's good. So far, since you've been in this for 5 years, what have been some of the challenges and opportunities you've had? You know, things are changing. Probably what you were doing last 3 years is not what you were doing now. So what are some of the changes, and how do you counter challenges? I mean, and how do you counter these challenges?
So some of the challenges are mainly getting some of the other fellows to participate in the ecosystem. But it is now dawning on me that it's not everybody who participates in the fellowship to engage in the internet governance scope. Some others are interested in participating in order to get the understanding of the internet in order to operate well in their office. So these are some of the challenges. So initially, I was really stern on them for them to engage in the ecosystem, but now I've realized that not everybody who is that interested in that side. So I've relaxed on that side. However, the other challenge is mainly the funding and the partnership. However, we are grateful to the AAU for coming on board and has enhanced this year's fellowship to a grand scale. So we thank AAU for coming on board.
Thank you to AAU, and thank you, Mr. Mamata, for joining us today. But before you go, you made mention in your submission, you said it is for everyone who is interested to learn more, particularly on internet governance. Now, someone watching us today will be like, I'm interested. What will be your message to that person, or how would you encourage the person, or what ways will the person pass through to be involved in this great initiative?
Okay, so internet governance, as I mentioned already, is for everybody, and our fellowship is annual. So next year, when you see the fellowship application, you have to apply, and we hope that you get selected. However, you can also go online to icann.org to learn more about internet governance principles and take the ICANN courses that will give you a good grounding on how internet governance is all about and how you can get engaged. However, Team EGICFA is also available to give you the necessary support for you to engage in internet governance principles in Ghana and all over the world.
Interesting. Thank you, Mr. Mamata, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And that was the president and founder of the EGICFA Association. Please stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hey, so this is Dishant from Unica University Common Application. I recommend you to watch AAU television.
AAU TV is the place to be for every person in higher education in Africa. Better be there or be nowhere.
Continuez de regarder la télé et surtout sur le AAU.
Keep watching it and it will change the way you interact with higher education on the continent. AAU, great job.
I want to tell you that AAU television is fantastic. It's educative, it's informative, and it is a must for anybody who is interested in higher education in Africa.
When I was in Accra last year, I did an interview on this TV. It's a very important mouthpiece.
It's a data, it's a bank of all we need for the development of higher education in Africa.
People should make an effort to view it because it discusses very current issues of development across the continent.
I believe that the station will continue to promote the overall development of Africa, particularly in the tertiary education sector.
AAU TV provides a platform and shares a lot of information to a broader audience. So we wish you all the best and please continue serving
AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
You are still watching the Hello Africa Morning Show and still on the top African news. I'm very happy to talk about this story. And first of all, I'd like to mention that, determination, resilience, and your willingness to break down barriers are all you need to achieve your goals and dreams. Now, our next story features a young woman of color who have overcome numerous challenges to reach a historic milestone, paving the way for greater diversity and representation in the medical field. And here we are talking about Nancy Abu Bonsra. Now, in 2017, Nancy Abu Bonsra made history as the first black female to be accepted to train as a brain surgeon at the prestigious Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. This remarkable achievement is even more significant considering Johns Hopkins as the birthplace of the medical discipline of neurosurgical surgery. Now, Nancy was interviewed back on CNN in 2017 when she first entered into the neurosurgery program as the first black female resident. On her X page, formerly known as Twitter, she indicated that she has spent 12 years at Hopkins School of Medicine. It was a surreal occasion as she celebrated with the family and friends last weekend on June 21, 2024. During her 12-year journey at Johns Hopkins, she pursued her clinical interest in neurosurgery, neurotrauma, and neurosurgical capacity building in Ghana and other countries. She has co-authored over 70 publications, as well as received numerous awards, including the Excellence in International Public Health Practice, the Association for Academic Surgery Foundation Global Surgery Research Award in 2022, and the Neurosurgery Department Louise Eisenhardt Award in 2023. Nancy Abu Bonsra expressed her interest in providing medical care in underserved areas, particularly surgical care, and hopes to contribute to building sustainable surgical infrastructure in Ghana during her career. Now, neurosurgery is the medical specialty which focuses on the treatment of disorders which affect any portion of the nervous system, including the brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nervous system. That was really great, and I'm really happy. You could see the way I took my time to give this story. I'm really, really happy. The first female black woman
to be accepted to train as a brain surgeon
at Johns Hopkins. This is really great, and I'm really, really impressed and happy for her. Congratulations, Miss Nancy Abu Bonsra. Sorry, Naomi. How do you feel about this?
I actually feel, I'm very big on black representation everywhere, and so seeing her make such a big history, especially at the prestigious Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, is something that I don't think she should take lightly. We need to celebrate her. And so for me, like you mentioned, determination, perseverance, I just hope that all of us, we are all able to recognize that these are the key elements we need to make progress, to make significant impact. So for her to possess that and still go ahead to become the first black female neurosurgeon is a very commendable act. And I don't know how we would, as a continent, would want to celebrate her, but I think she really deserves some form of celebration.
And actually, I find this interesting because when I look at some applications, especially with the STEM initiatives for women, they encourage women to apply. Yes. Mostly when you look under the application details, you see that women and then blah, blah, blah are encouraged to apply. But then, look, for her being the first black female woman to be in that field, I kind of question myself. Is it that probably the selection criteria is too difficult that when women apply, they do not get the opportunity?
Probably.
Or rather, we are discouraged to apply for such initiatives, such programs?
I think social media or like the online media is actually helping in a way, because now you get to see some opportunities that were not, quote unquote, very well publicized previously or in previous years. So now people go online, they Google, and they are able to access some of this information and try. It could probably be that those who were, some people didn't even know about it, and no black person was able to come across this opportunity for them to apply. So it's a very good thing that she's taking up. And for her being the first black woman, I'm sure that others will follow suit. She will definitely get to mentor people, show them where she got the opportunity, how she was able to come across the opportunity, how to apply, and then maybe even guide them or mentor them on how to even finish just like her. So,
and this is someone who is from Ghana. She's from Ghana, went all the way to Johns Hopkins to train. And then I like the fact that after her training, she's thinking of coming back to impact, to contribute, or to, contribute to some of their challenges, especially when it comes to neurosurgical field. We have limited number of people in that aspect, and for her to think of coming back to, give back to the society, looking back to her origin, it's a very good thing for her, and I must applaud her for that. Thank you and congratulations to Mrs. Nancy Abu-Bonsra, and we are hoping to receive you. We are really happy for you. I'm hoping, you see the way sometimes when these diasporans are coming, we meet them at the airport with the dancing, the cultural performance. I'm hoping that we do that, because it's for staying at school for 12 years.
I would really like her name to be like a landmark. We can name one of our big institutions with her name.
And she's been able to publish 70 publications. I really hope open access. It's out there for people to access it, look at it, and also build on knowledge. Knowledge transfer, build on their knowledge.
Now, away from that story and bringing you some updates on the Kenyan protest, the Kenyan President William Ruto has proposed spending cuts and additional borrowings to allow a nearly 2.7 billion USD budget deficit after scrapping planned tax hikes due to nationwide protests. The proposed austerity measures include dissolving 47 state corporations, halving the number of government advisors, suspending non-essential travel, and eliminating budget lines for the president and deputy president's spouses. The deficit, now projected at 4.6% of GDP, has drawn concern from lenders like the IMF. Following his speech, Ruto faced sharp questioning in a live forum about police brutality, corruption, and economic policies, apologizing for the alleged abductions of protesters by state security agents. Protests demanding his resignation continue despite reduced turnout and incidents of violence and looting. Isabella, what do you make of this new development from the Kenyan protests and the president's decision now?
I think, well, maybe the president is trying. He's trying to listen to the citizens, the youth out there. Initially, you were protesting, a peaceful protest. You were saying they should cut the tax, which he did. Initially, he was not willing to do, but looking at how the peaceful demonstration just shifted from peace to brutality and all that, he listened to them and then cut that tax or the bill out. But then, looking at, I'm sure there was there was a reason behind him introducing that tax. So obviously the country is going to face some financial challenges, inflations and all that. And how is he going to? You can't go to an investor when, do you get what I'm saying? IMF and they won't support you.
You need to make your home.
You need to show them that you are capable, you can do it by yourself. That is when they can come in to support you. So I think some of the strategies he think would be able to solve some of these challenges are to cut down some expenses. Obviously, you can look at when they are going for their trips and all that, booking private jets with a number of cars, fuels and all that. I mean, some of these expenses should be cut off, and then to be, so the money there will be able to look at other things that are going to bring on inflation.
Personally, I think it's a very good initiative. Meaning that he heard the cry of the youth, he heard the cry of his citizens, and he has decided that he'll put measures in place to ensure that they spend less than what they are currently spending, so that they can make some form of arrangements.
but then I think it's a good thing, but I still have an issue with that, because you can see the people are still protesting They'll
For
still
his
want
resignation.
him to resign. Why that? Why is
Yeah,
that?
so
I think the major problem is accountability and
Yeah.
transparency, because I don't believe the people or the youth and the Kenyans are not willing to pay tax. Obviously, they are paying some taxes, but then the thing still stands on accountability. If you are able to let the people know that you are going to account for all what they are paying, all their efforts, I'm sure if you introduce whatever it is, no matter how hard the system is, they'll be willing, because
Yeah.
you're a good leader. You account on what you are transparent. They know what is going on in the system.
Yeah.
I'm sure 100% that these youth who are willing to develop the country will obviously commit to paying tax, and they
Yeah,
wouldn't
right.
ask for your resignation.
Yeah,
and then for you to come back and say, okay, you are cutting this and you are cutting that. Previously, what were you? That means you were wasting our
You were
money.
wasting,
Your credibility
yeah.
is at stake.
So,
You
yeah.
were wasting our money
It's
on
two
all
ways.
this, and now you are willing to cut these expenses. Do you
It's
get what
two-
I'm saying?
yes, I get
It's
you.
a good strategy, but then you are still backfiring yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll delve into our news portal review and do some lifestyle, and then we will check out. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The CGC Show is back on your screens.
This season on the CGC Show, bring you nothing short of interesting and, of course, educative interviews. We are going to delve into the areas of technical and vocational education and training, TVET. We will get interactive with our professional and well-experienced guests to educate us on how to attain the career path you have been dreaming of in TVET. On the show, we focus mainly on highlighting career opportunities and job prospects available in the program you are studying or yet to read at the tertiary level. Better yet, we help you understand that whatever venture you are in can contribute to the economic development of our beautiful continent. Join me, Mr. Ko, on the CGC Show on AAU TV as I engage experts and professionals to help build and nurture your career. The CGC Show, your trusted pathway to your dreams.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
And on our news portal review, we are moving straight to the Reuters.com, and there, still on Kenya, we turn our attention to the recent development where activists are rethinking their strategy following Tuesday's anti-government protests, which unfortunately turned violent. The protests, initially peaceful, have been marred by looting and clashes, raising concerns about the movement's future. Now, activists claim that the violence were orchestrated by goons hired by politicians to discredit their legitimate protest or push their own agendas. The protest, which began as peaceful rallies against proposed tax hike, saw an unexpected turn when demonstrators clashed with police, resulting in chaos and distraction. Interior Minister Kithure Kindiki blamed hordes and marauding criminal gangs for the violence, suggesting attempts to politicize crime. Despite the withdrawal of the proposed tax hikes by the President William Ruto, protesters are pressing on with demands for anti-corruption measures and Ruto's resignation. You know, this is just like, as we were saying, I mentioned accountability and transparency, anti-corruption. We need to know that we are willing to stop all these, and then we all govern the country peacefully. And I like the fact that the protesters are going back, because what they thought would be peaceful are now turning into bloody. Now I learned over 30 people died out of this protest, and so they are going back, and their next protest is on Thursday. So they are going back to look at how they can come out and make it peaceful rather. And looking at the story, I think they are blaming politicians and the government for their peaceful protest turning into a deadly one, because they think and believe that some politicians have hired some of the youth who are like gangs, instead of it being a peaceful, go to people's house, destroy state property and all that. I think For it to be like that, I mean, we are all coming out to voice out. This is our responsibility. If something is not going on well, we have the right to come out and make decisions. Then
I think most of the time we actually do not get. I think it's the approach of the security personnel that always triggers
the violence.
The violence, because if people have come, definitely if people are shouting, if protesters are on the street shouting with placards, whatnot, they would think that, yeah, they're making noise, blah, blah, blah. But then you also, if you want to respond to such protests, or you want to counter whatever they're doing, your approach should be that they shouldn't do anything. But then when you go to instigate the violence, when you go to start the violence in the first place, then it means that you are calling for their reaction.
Okay.
Because if I'm protesting, definitely I'm going to be making noise. I can be holding a machete without even using it. No, I'm just saying, because they want to, the protesters want you to know how serious they are about the issue. And so if they are coming with machetes, they are coming with knives, whatnot, it's not as though they are going to be using it. But it is how you respond to your security measures you take to respond to their action. That is what mostly triggers them. Because definitely if you are protesting, you will not go with guns.
Yeah.
But the guns will come from these security personnel. So if they're security personnel, you come using tear gases, they will get violence, because you are inflicting pain on some of their members.
Yeah.
And that is when they will also they will also want to react to your actions, because then it's like, even if now that I'm even though I'm protesting peacefully, you are coming at me with violence, then I might as well just be violent so that we see who survives.
Okay.
And that is how come, unfortunately, we've lost some people.
Yes. But actually, the protesters are saying they are not to be blamed, because they are not involved in the violence. They are rather saying the politicians
brought in
hype
some people, which can be true.
Yeah, it is.
Can be true.
People do that a lot.
If you want to justify, or you want to give like evidence to show that the protest is actually not peaceful and that these are their motives, you would want to bring in some external forces, make them mingle, sort of like mix with them as though they are part of them, and then they will
bring the violence and destroy things. Because even the story made mention that an actress who is part of the protesters, when realizing that it's becoming bloody, she had to go back home. And something, now you've infringed on her right to voice out her needs and her this thing. So to me, I think it's a good initiative, or it's a good step for the protesters to go back and look at another strategy for them to voice out their and still they are calling on the president to resign, and they want anti-corruption measures to be implemented. Kenya, I think we have to sit up and then do what the youth is asking for.
Yeah. Away from that story and still on some killings, unfortunately, turning to Nigeria, barely a week after a deputy vice chancellor was killed by bandits, another lecturer has also been murdered, and 2 of his children have been abducted. On Tuesday, July 2nd, Dr. Tirijan David, head of the Department of Agricultural Economics, Extension and Rural Development at Federal University Duchina in Katsina State, was killed by gunmen. 2 of his children were also abducted in this tragic incident, which is still under investigation. This follows the murder of Professor Yusuf Saidu, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research, Innovation and Development at Usmanu Danfodiyo University in Sokoto, Udus. He was killed by bandits on the Gusau-Kaduna highways in Zamfara State while on an official university assignment. The academic community described Professor Saidu as a man of integrity, dedication, and courage. His death was deeply mourned by his university, which noted the significant contributions he has made as a passionate researcher and dedicated educator. This story was sourced from the University World News. Isabella, I don't know what is happening in Katsina State.
It's been happening. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. It's been going on and on and on. And the security measures, I don't know. I really don't, because it is sad. It is sad for you to wake up early in the morning going to work, and then you meet just your unfortunate.
But I think we should try and find out what the root cause is.
Security. Initially, the first murder, they made excuses that they saw his the late vice chancellor's vehicle as part of the security patrol cars.
Okay.
So they thought he's a security officer and killed him. I mean. So what is the excuse for
this one? That is what I want to understand, because then it means, because I remember the first reason for killing the deputy vice chancellor, but now a deputy vice chancellor, another lecturer has been killed, and 2 of his children have been abducted. I want to understand the reason for that. Has it done anything? Has he offended anybody in any way? Because I'm trying to understand what exactly has triggered these killings in the university.
Probably only Nigerians will be the ones. Oh, yes, because
maybe we will try to get somebody on the call next week to give us more details, because I really do not understand.
And to me, I think the security measures is very poor. It's very poor, because this happened, and within
just last week,
a week, another person is down. That means those who committed the previous, they've not been arrested. Nothing has been done. So they'll still go on. And students, I mean, people coming from afar, coming to that school, who will use that route to school. How are you encouraging them to come to school? I wouldn't. If I'm to be part of it, if I'm to be a student there in that area, I would never step out to go to school.
I don't think the students will even feel safe.
And also, according to Mr. Ambali Abdul Kabir, who is an education expert and also a commentator on public policy issue, he made mentions of some of the solutions to curb this, especially insecurity solutions. And according to my quote, generally, a holistic, multidimensional approach is necessary. This must include effective, strategic, and transparent governance, consistent community engagement, strategic coordination among security agencies, and long-term investment in education and socio-economic development. These are all good strategies. These are very good.
But the implementation.
Then you make mention. You are saying there should be some coordination among security agency. Community should be engaged and educated. I mean, yes, probably these bandits are lacking some educational knowledge, or probably they don't see anything wrong with what they are doing.
Maybe.
So it's a good strategy, but then
it needs to be implemented and enforced.
We look forward to it.
It's just so unfortunate.
We look forward to it being implemented.
May your soul rest in perfect peace.
Very sad news. And still on the university world news, in Zimbabwe, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has dismissed Deputy Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Similizimwe Simbanda. I hope I mentioned the name right. This follows an outburst that has been widely condemned as tribalism. This decision comes after Simbanda publicly questioned a teacher at Matabelele Land North Province about her Shona surname in an area predominantly populated by the Ndembele ethnic group. Now, Simbanda's action sparked outrage on social media, with many criticizing his approach. He interrogated the teacher in front of villagers and school staff, questioning her ability to teach early childhood development due to her surname. The government policy mandates that early childhood education should be conducted in the local language, which fueled Simbanda's concern. This is interesting.
It's very interesting.
It is educational. At the same time, precaution needs to be taken.
Yes.
Because looking at the deputy minister's decision, or why he decided to question the teacher, I think he's right. Because as part of the rules and regulation, I think in Zimbabwe, at preschool, during preschool to primary, before you enter into the college and tertiary, you need to be educated in your native language.
Okay.
So, for example, we have different tribes here.
Yeah.
We have the Gans, we have the Ewes, we have the Ashanti. So, if you are a student, a preschool or an infant starting school in Ashanti, your teacher should be an Ashanti, teaching you in the Tree language, in the Akan language. Same goes to Accra. If you're in preschool, your educational language, or the medium to communicate to you in school should be the Ghana language. Same as. But so I think as part of the deputy minister's visit in schools, he met this teacher who, by her name, you could see that he's not from this. He or she, she's not from this tribe. So he questioned her about what she's doing here and at length he asked her a question in the Shona language for her to, if she's able to explain what he meant, then she's able to teach these students. And unfortunately, the teacher couldn't answer the minister's. He couldn't answer. She couldn't answer the minister's question in that Shona language, hence leading to the minister's outburst, disgracing her in front of villagers and other teachers. To me, I think the minister may be right, but then the approach he used, because this is a qualified teacher. Fine, she is not meant to be at that area. Probably she's supposed to be at Indembele area, but then the approach he used to disgrace him in front of even his students and other teachers is a bit harsh. I think that is why the president decided to suspend him, because in Zimbabwe, according to the story, the preschool to primary to GHS here, like is equivalent to Ghana here, is under the another ministry. Yes, it's under another ministry, and then from higher education to tertiary and college is where the deputy minister falls under. So seeing this, probably you have to report to the right ministry rather than you going ahead
handle the issue.
Rather than you going ahead to ask the headmaster to sack the teacher, disgracing. I mean, it's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
It's quite harsh.
It's quite harsh. Oh, this is sad.
And our next story.
Yeah, on to our next story. An important study by Sianda Sele in South Africa sheds light on the challenges Black students face in universities influenced by Western educational models. Now, highlighting Black students' backgrounds, including home language, economic status, and experiences of racism and sexism, significantly impacts their chances of graduation in South African universities. Dr. Sele, who earned his doctorate in social justice education from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, emphasized the need for universities to tailor their offerings to better reflect students' needs and entities. Now, there are some key points that I would want you to note in the story. He mentioned that there's an influence of background on graduation rates, where Black students' home language, economic background, and experiences of racism and sexism significantly impact their chances of graduation. He also, his study also used Tinto's student integration model, adding students' background as a critical factor. He also highlighted insufficient social integration leading to poorer academic integration and vice versa. And there is underrepresentation of Black academics and Western-centric curricula, which contributes to this feeling. There is gender-based violence and discrimination, which creates hostile learning environments for these students. And despite progressive language policies, English remains the main medium of instruction, hence disadvantages students whose first language is not English. And he also mentioned that many students work part-time jobs to meet basic needs. And so the National Student Financial Aid Scheme is often insufficient and plagued by corruption. Isabella, what's your take on this story?
First, I'd like to commend Dr. Sianda Sele for such a remarkable research. And these are the types of research we need to be doing, looking at what the people need actually to come up with solutions, and not just going to pick what somebody in the Western country has done, and then you contextualize to the African. No, this is a very good, and I think he's involved. He noticed that these are some of the challenges students are facing in South Africa, and decided to take that as his thesis topic, and then do such a research. I think it's a very good thing he has done there, and I'm hoping that the research goes ahead. I mean, they look for solutions, or the solutions that he recommended would be taken, and justice will be done to that. Now, looking at some of the challenges he made mention, you know, I don't think it's just in South Africa, because even in Ghana here, I see some schools, international schools, using the Western curricula instead of our own curricula, things that is going to educate, things that are going to educate our students to come up with knowledgeable solutions and all that, to find solutions for our challenges. So it is not South Africa only, which is a very big problem, because if you are teaching Africans, and then you are going to use Western models, Western examples, be citing examples in the Western countries and all that, how are you encouraging them to find
He actually proposed some measures. So he was saying that universities should design support programs, including academic support, mentoring, counseling, and writing centers. He also recommends the promotion of diversity and inclusion through student activities. He recommends improvement in resources in under-resourced schools, and also decolonize education from primary school upwards, and use indigenous languages alongside English. Yes.
Talking about the language, I think this is just like what we discussed previously, where students are from preschool are taught in their local or native language. And I think South Africa has a policy like that, which is the progressive language policy, where you have to be educated in your native language. But if this research is saying that students are still finding it difficult to integrate due to the language or the medium of communication they use, that means they are not implementing that policy. That means when you go to these schools, the main medium of communication is English language.
And I remember way back in primary school, back in primary school, you would go to school speaking your local language, even when you are engaging your friends. And people will start shouting that you're speaking vernacular.
And you'll be
punished. And I'm like, how is it vernacular? English language should be vernacular, because if I'm speaking Twi or Ga, that's my local language. So how is that rather now vernacular? Well, I understand that they would want to help us build our English speaking skills, but then again, we need to ensure that we are not only focused on building the English speaking skills and leaving out our local language, because now you meet some children who are in primary school, but they cannot speak any of the local languages, just English language. And that is the colonization of the education that Dr. Sele was talking about. We need to decolonize our education all the way from the primary school. And this shouldn't just happen in South Africa. I think this is something that all institutions, all countries in Africa should adopt, to be able to ensure that we do not lose our indigenous languages.
Yeah, that is very true. And even not just in schools, even in other professionals. Yes, I know we have to be professional, we have to speak English and all that. Even on this set, let me try speaking Twi or Ga. You see the producer shouting in my ears to go back to English. Do you get what I'm saying? And I like the fact that looking at the model or the theory that she used, she cited an African theory, which is the Tinto student integration model, founded by Tinto, and this Vincent Tinto, and this explains all the factors contributing to our decisions to either drop out or continue our colleges in school. And I think this really speaks to student needs in South Africa, and researchers should look on this and then cite theories that are actually going to frame your research and come up with solutions for the needs of the people, and not just picking someone's research and then you contextualize, which will not bring any solutions or bring any improvement to us here. Thank you, Mr. Sele, for such a great research output. And I hope that your recommendations will be taken and then implemented. Now, still on the news portal review, here we are picking from modernghana.com, which delves into the health aspect. It says, Sierra Leone is currently battling a deadly outbreak of the Lassa virus, a hemorrhagic fever similar to Ebola, which has claimed numerous lives. Now, the country is still recovering from the devastating decade-long fight against Ebola, faces significant challenges in containing this new threat. Health officials are scrambling to implement measures to control the virus spread, which is transmitted through contact with rodent excreta or contaminated materials. Now, the outbreak highlights the ongoing vulnerability of Sierra Leone's healthcare system and the urgent need for enhanced disease surveillance and response capabilities. Lassa fever, Ebola, coronavirus, and on and on and on, all in Africa.
Another deadly fever. I think
trying to portray how weak our healthcare system is.
That was exactly
we didn't
what
learn
I was going to
from coronavirus.
highlight.
We didn't learn from Ebola. We didn't learn from all these endemic and pandemics. Now we are waiting for Lassa fever to also spread and become pandemic. How? And looking at the story, it made mention, although the fatality rate is quite low, but when it is not treated and not looked at, it's spread, and it moves from 1% to 15%. Just like the Africa Center for Disease Control mentioned, that the virus infects between 100,000 to 300,000 people annually in West Africa. Yes, killing roughly 5,000
That's
people.
quite alarming.
So yes, 100,000 to 300,000, and out of these, almost 5,000 will be killed by the disease. I think it's something we should look at.
We really need to strengthen our health systems. We really need to strengthen our health system.
And then what is really alarming is the fact that there are no vaccines. There are no vaccines for Lassa fever. Currently, yes, there are no vaccines.
But we were able to develop vaccines for COVID-19.
Yes, but you know, to develop a vaccine, it goes from stages to stages, and it takes quite long. Yes, some development is ongoing, but then it is still not time for us to distribute this. So probably, I think what the people are doing is to look at the rodents. They go around, catch some of the rats, and then they inject some vaccines in them to help curb them transmitting the virus to other people, because some farmers go to their farm, and then when they pick their foodstuff, they realize that, okay, a rat has eaten for a portion of it. Instead of them throwing them, because there are no fruits around, they pick the food and just slice that that part off and then eat that food. And what if that rat that ate that part is infected? You're obviously going to get the Lassa fever. So I think, as we are waiting for the vaccine to be developed, we should also take caution as to what we do at home.
Away from that story and on to some happenings in Gaza, sourcing from BBC Africa, at least 16 people were killed and dozens injured in an Israeli airstrike on a school in the Nuseirat refugee camp in Gaza, which was sheltering thousands of displaced people. The IDF claimed it targeted terrorists operating in structures at the school, while Hamas labeled the strike a massacre of civilians. This incident is part of ongoing violence that has seen over 38,000 Palestinians killed since October 7. Despite the hostilities, there are emerging talks between Israel and Hamas about a potential ceasefire and hostage release deal. I don't know what is happening in Gaza. I don't understand why there's still shootings and what exactly? Bombings in Gaza.
Killing people.
Killing people.
Well,
you are fighting. Initially, the fight was against Hamas and Israel. And now it has moved away from dealing with Hamas dealing with Hamas to just killing people over 38,000 Palestinians have been killed
Innocent and students
since October. And I am so shattered by this story because it was in a school. The airstrike happened in a school, a refugee camp. So people who have been hurt, who are now recovering from the trauma that they faced since October 7 when this whole incident started, they are now in a refugee camp, and then there's a bombing, there's an airstrike over there. This is disheartening.
And I don't know when they are going to cease fire, since they said there's some potential talk.
I think we've spoken about this for
we have.
weeks now.
Other countries joining in, telling them to stop and all that. We are just hoping to see the ceasefire and then the hostages being released, because it's enough is enough. Almost 38,000 people died.
Israel needs to stop. I would always say that Israel needs to stop, because most of the time in the news is Israel doing something to the Palestinian people.
Yeah.
For a very long time, I don't think the Palestinians have done anything to Israel, and now they are like the vulnerable now. They are the marginalized now, because it's like they are desperate. They just need some time to breathe and rebuild their city. Now Gaza is gone. Gaza is gone. People are displaced. Over 38,000 Palestinians just within this short period. And it's almost a year now. We are in July and it started in October.
Well, I would say both parties need to stop, because sometimes the media would want you to know what is happening, what they want you to know.
Yes, exactly.
Citing the Ukraine and then Russia's.
I understand.
Yes, but sometimes the media would want you.
Then again, yes, if the media wants to put you in a bad light by focusing on what you are doing to the other party, why don't you also rethink your strategy so that you will not get that focus, you will not get that attention from the media again? It means you are doing something wrong. And that's why they keep focusing on you. So I think Israel really needs to restructure. There should be some talks at least to stop these attacks on each other. Let's go for a quick commercial break on the same story, and when we come back, we'll delve into our lifestyle. Don't go anywhere.
The CGC Show is back on your screens. This season on the CGC Show, bring you nothing short of interesting and, of course, educative interviews. We are going to delve into the areas of technical and vocational education and training, TVET. We will get interactive with our professional and well-experienced guests to educate us on how to attain the career path you have been dreaming of in TVET. On the show, we focus mainly on highlighting career opportunities and job prospects available in the program you are studying or yet to read at the tertiary level. Better yet, we help you understand that whatever venture you are in can contribute to the economic development of our beautiful continent. Join me, Ms. Darko, on the CGC Show on AAU TV as I engage experts and professionals to help build and nurture your career. The CGC Show, your trusted pathway to your dreams.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water. Share the love, and Bigo Drinks.
Thank you for sticking with us. This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Purified Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks. Now, on our lifestyle segment, we are looking at a Ghanaian chef who apologizes for faking his Guinness World Record certificate. This Ghanaian chef goes by the name Ebenezer Smith, also known as Millennium Chef Smith. Recently, he was arrested for forging a Guinness World Record certificate. Smith falsely claimed to have set a new record for the longest cooking marathon, stating he cooked for 802 hours and 25 minutes from February 1 to March 6, 2024. He announced his achievement at a press conference and displayed a counterfeit certificate. However, Guinness World Records refuted his claim, reconfirming that the actual record is held by Irish chef Alan Fisher, who cooked for 119 hours and 57 minutes in 2023. Following this incident, Guinness World Records decided to deactivate the cookathon category to avoid further controversy. See, I'm laughing. I'm laughing.
So he was on another media platform where they interviewed him actually, and they were asking him. He was asked basically what his motivation was to start all of this, and quote unquote, I don't even care about. Yeah, people will say, oh, he needs to think about his reputation, blah, blah, blah. But what about those who invested in him? What about those who sponsored him? What about those who genuinely supported him? In this case, I'm looking at Ahmadiyya, the place where he hosted the cookathon. I'm looking at his assistant chef. I'm looking at his manager. And then this
even
man
the people.
Goes, and the people, the Ghanaians.
People.
I remember former First Lady Lordina Mahama was there. She presented some cookwares to him to cook with. And when he was asked, during the interview, he said he's been trying so many things. He's been working for restaurants. He's been working at hotels, and he's still unable to make ends meet because he has children. And so he just wanted to do something that Ghanaians or the people all across the world will get to know what he also can do. Because he said he's been cooking since 2008. And I'm like, so is that the reason? Is that your reason to just get up and scam Ghanaians, scam the world, those who believed you from far and near, all across social media? And you go do a whole setup. He was asked, so when you started doing, you knew you were just doing something, you were just coming up with something, and then you were able to get sponsorship. So even when you got the location, even when you got the menu to do your cookathon, you did not disclose it to your manager that you are actually just doing this to get some recognition, and so it's actually not real. And apparently he had not even applied. Isabella, I don't like the way you're silent on this.
Coming here, before I stepped out from my house, I prayed to God to let me understand why or what motivated this man to do such a
fraudulent act.
First of all, fine. You have the passion to cook. Myself, I like to cook a lot.
You should have tried it.
That encouraged me to even set up a channel, YouTube channel. Fine, you have the passion to cook. So you decided to do this cookathon. You didn't, first of all, you need to apply.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a while for Guinness to Guinness Book of Record to approve and even reply to you. I think looking at their website, it takes 12 weeks to respond to your message with rules and regulations and all that. And when you go ahead, it takes, I think, a month for them to give you the go ahead to do your record. You didn't apply. You still went ahead, lure people, influence people,
to support
you. The young lady who was standing by, so me,
I feel
standing
so
by
sad
you,
for her.
and you know that what
She's
you are
been
doing is
exploited.
wrong.
She's been exploited. I know she issued an apology because she said she knew nothing about it. And when he was asked whether he told his manager, he said his manager didn't know
He's not
anything
even a
about it.
manager. He's
and
someone.
The funny thing is, he actually forged the application number.
Oh, I'm not there
the
yet.
reference
I'm
number.
not there yet. I mean, you know, fine. We all sometimes tell lies to cover our asses. So we're fine. You did this. You know it is not you. It is not the right way. You didn't apply and all that. When you finished, just let it end there.
Yeah.
Let it end
Immediately
there.
he saw it.
When we get the
blowing out of
news,
proportion.
it is fine. You did your own thing. We didn't call you. You were not invited, and you've done your own thing. Yes, your sponsors are going to have issues with you, but let it end there. But for you to go ahead and pick
someone's reference number and just tweak it,
change it, and then you printed a counterfeit certificate. That is
scamming and fraudulent.
He needs
act.
to be arrested.
A lot
saw
of people
some
are
comments
calling
saying
for that. Yeah.
No, actually, majority are saying to air is human. He needs to be forgiven and all that blah 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 thing. I saw a lot of comments saying like falling for him, trying to sympathize and all that. No, he needs to be arrested because if you're going to do that, some people were arrested for being for frauding people. Dr. UN, for instance, came with the UN thing, awarding people and all that. Significant people, but he was arrested. He needs to be arrested. The crying and all that, yes, you've regretted for what you did, but you need to pay for your actions because there's a right way. There was a little guy who won the youngest artist in Ghana here. If Wasantwa tried, though she didn't win, but at least she went by the rules and all the right path. She didn't win, but she's getting more sponsors and all that, be ambassadors for programs, products and all that.
She's the Ghana tourism ambassador. So
you get it?
That's a big.
So when you did it and you realize, okay, you didn't choose the right path, and you can come clean.
Yes.
And probably someone will even look at this and be like, okay, you're passionate for this. And looking at the hours, 800, and he was able to do it all. It's not like he didn't do it. He was able to do it. So it's something you can do. Why not? Why don't you do the right thing?
So he just did it. He just did it for doing sake.
I think this.
And I'm even wondering because apparently one sponsor invested about 300,000.
Yes.
So now I'm thinking, where did that money go?
It's gone. It's gone.
The cookwares, the food items,
they've lost it. That is risk. That's why sometimes they said investing in something is very, very risky because you can lose it or not. The person has lost.
It's sad. It's sad, and he really, really. I think the mental health should be something that we take seriously, especially in this country.
So are you saying there's something wrong with him?
I think there's something wrong with him because when he was interviewed, when he was asked why he did it, and even when you saw that people were coming on board, because he mentioned that he's been reading a lot about Guinness World Record.
He knows.
So if you've been reading about
thing.
it's something
there's no mental health
issue.
Is
an orchestrated
there's
theft.
no mental health issue. He planned it. He knew what he was doing and went ahead to fraud Ghanaians. He went ahead to fraud Ghanaians, and he needs to pay for that action. He needs to face the consequences. There's no mental health issues. And no.
Now, away from that story, we hope that something is done about to Chef Smith because it's really brought some disgrace to the country. Because our neighbors had someone from Nigeria winning that category, and then later the Irish chef came on board, and he is now the record holder. And for Guinness World Record to say that they are deactivating their cookathon category,
we've done a lot. Ghanaians especially,
we've done a lot. The record he has set now. He's been able to deactivate
cookathon.
Guinness World Records cookathon category. So maybe that
is his record.
Better because I really do not understand. Well, today we are spotlighting an incredible innovation from the heart of Africa that's making waves on social media. So Desiree Kabengela, a 24-year-old Congolese student from Goma, who has created Africa's first red meal made entirely out of wood. This eco-friendly treadmill designed to meet international standards is perfect for athletes and fitness enthusiasts alike. It's a game changer for those in areas with limited electricity, as it doesn't require any power to operate. Desiree's invention, which began as his main project for his third year public defense at ISTA Goma, has received rave reviews from sports experts and users. They love its practicality and performance, though some suggest improvements to reduce noise at higher speeds. This purely mechanical treadmill is especially beneficial for rural areas and homes in Goma, where electricity is scarce. This is a very beautiful invention. Yeah, it is. It's a very beautiful and incredible innovation.
Yeah.
Wooden treadmill.
But it's a good thing, initiative. It's a good invention and innovation, especially coming from a young person. And I think he saw the resource. We have the resource. Thought about what he could do with this, and looking at some of the internet challenges in some countries where you don't have access to electricity, not internet. What can we do for people who wants to exercise? And then he thought of doing a treadmill. Actually, when it comes to wood, there are a lot of things we do with wood, and this is the first time having a treadmill. I saw it and I was really impressed.
And I'm actually just imagining it, like how is the movement going to be like on it?
So it depends on your speed. The faster you go, that's how the treadmill is going. So if you walk, it's going to be slow. And as you start trotting and running, that's how fast it's going. Not like the electric ones where you are going to punch in, where you're going to punch in the speed. This one, it is based on your pace. As you're going fast, that is how the treadmill. But then we are talking about cost. You know, sometimes when we produce our things, sometimes it is very, very costly, very, very expensive for people to purchase it. So I'm just hoping that he should look, as he's looking at the electricity challenges, he should also look at the financial challenges and just reduce the prices for some people.
The materials, I think it's the materials.
But the materials, I think, is what we have here. He didn't import anything. We have them here.
But wood, you know, it will go through some form of processes because it's not just about cutting down the trees. You need to. It will go through some processes. It has to go to the factory where men will be working on it and all of that, and he will need to pay all of these people. So I think that's the problem. Sometimes
when you reduce the prices of things and then you get a bunch purchase, that is where you're going to make interest and benefit from it. So if he makes it too expensive for other people not to be able to purchase, then what is the essence of?
Well, you have a point.
So I think the cost should
I would suggest that investment goes into this innovation to reduce the cost, because if the investment goes into the production, obviously the price quotes for the item will be reduced, and then he'll still make some money, but not as much. And so I think some investments and the government should come on board. If we're talking about investment, we are not talking about just the private private investors. The government and stakeholders, relevant stakeholders, can come on board, collaborate with him, and ensure the large scale production of this item, so that it can also move to the other parts of the continent.
Right, and still focusing on Africa trying to add values to raw materials. Major global fashion brands such as US Polo, Daily Paper, Kiabi, and The Children's Place are increasingly turning to Benin for their clothing production. This trend highlights the growing significance of Africa's fashion industry and the transformative impact of local cotton processing. By producing cotton domestically, Benin not only creates jobs but also uplifts local farmers, shifting the narrative of cotton from a symbol of colonial exploitation to one of empowerment and economic growth. The initiative to process cotton locally in Benin and neighboring countries like Togo is generating tens of thousands of jobs, fostering economic resilience and promoting a new made in Africa narrative. This shift also helps heal historical wounds associated with colonial exploitation, instilling pride and resilience among Africans and Afro descendants. Yeah. Like I was saying, we adding value to some of our raw materials. Now, the narrative has changed from exporting our raw materials to the foreign countries where they'll process it, add values to it, and then bring it back to us on a high cost for us to utilize. I think it's a very good.
Yes, it is.
It's a very good thing for Africa.
I like the fact that these fashion brands are not just any fashion
brands.
No. They are not local
they are
fashion brands. Yeah. They are global fashion brands. Yeah. Looking at US Polo. So they manufacture everything.
From the primary to
from
the
sourcing
everything.
I remember where I used to live before. When we moved into the area around 2003, thereabout, we actually had the cotton plantation around.
Oh, really?
Yes. And people used to come and collect. I remember there were Chinese men who were doing their collection. So I was wondering, is it that they see the need to collect them, or we don't know what we can do with the cotton? Because it was always the Chinese men and women who would come there at during some periods to come and collect the
harvesting time.
And then they would go back later. They would come back again when it's time for harvest, and then they take them.
Well, I think to answer your question about we not seeing the need to produce our own product from our raw material, I think we do. We see the need, but then we don't have the resources. We don't have the capacity, the people capable of. Probably we may have the raw materials there, but then we have to look at our capabilities. We need to look at our resources and make sure that we have the manufacturing, we have the equipment and all that to transform these raw materials into final product. And these Chinese are they have, when you go to China, for instance, you see a child being able to manufacture, but when you come to Africa, children are like at that same age, comparing the same age, he or she will be at the mother's back or in the market or at school learning ABCD instead of having this practical knowledge and all that. So I think it's a good step, and I like the fact that they are involving other neighboring countries like Togo, who are also producing cotton. It's about time we all come together, learn from. They are creating job opportunities so we have to look on this and also try and have some manufacturing companies in our African countries to add values to our raw materials rather than exporting them and then they bring in the final product to us on a very expensive price. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the entertainment segment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, Africa. Keep watching AAU TV.
This is Hello Africa on AAU TV.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water. Share the love and Bigo Drinks.
Thank you for tuning in. It still is Hello Africa morning show on AAU TV, your daily connections to the world. And we have been doing some top African news stories, some news portal review, lifestyle, and now we are going to delve into the world of entertainment. And in entertainment today, Annette Adwoa of North Texas has become the first immigrant born and Ghanaian to win the Miss Texas title in the USA. The prestigious event took place at the Charles W.S. Center for Performing Arts in Richardson. Representing Miss South Lake, Adwoa overcame strong competition to earn the crown. Expressing her gratitude, Adwoa is thrilled to be the 87th Miss Texas and looks forward to representing the state at the Miss America contest. Her win includes a $20,000 scholarship. Passionate about autism awareness, she highlighted this cause during the pageant talent contest, inspired by her younger brother Andrew, who is on the autism spectrum. With her platform, the Spark Project, Adwoa aims to address structural inequities for individuals with autism, advocating for better education and training. She has also previously brought autism awareness to Capitol Hill as a volunteer advocate for Autism Speaks. Congratulations to Miss Annette Adoyobo for being the first immigrant born to be crowned Miss Texas.
Thank you very much for giving me such a. Yeah, I'm trying to take I think she's done very well, and being the first immigrant born, a Ghanaian to be precise. Yeah. I mean, it's a very good. Today it looks like we are looking at Ghanaians achieving bigger things.
And I like the fact that we are getting the representation. Yeah. We are being given the platforms to showcase what we have. And yes, maybe somebody could have won, but looking at what she's tackling, autism, creating more awareness, doing some campaigns on autism, and she has first-hand experience, not necessarily first-hand, but first-hand in terms of the fact that her brother has the autism. Yes. And so whatever she would say, I'm sure whatever campaign she'll come up with, she would want to ensure that her brother would have some benefits from it, and it is something that she'll probably test before even bringing out to showcase to the world that this is what she wants to do. So I think, and she's so pretty, very pretty, very pretty. And talking about her experience, I think aside her brother being an autistic, yes, aside her brother having that challenge, I think she's also done some volunteering work, creating awareness on autism and all that. And I think that is also a plus to her. And when it comes to pageantry, sometimes I wonder how they do the scoring and all that, because I have been in a pageant before, 2015, yes. Okay. I was a contestant on an international pageantry, and it looks like the major marks, or for you to score higher, is the project. If you are to win, what are you going to do with a name, with a crown, as a Miss this or Miss that? So I think with her experience, or with what she went through, it is her project, what she really wants to do with a name as a queen. And that was what, yes, as you mentioned, that's what it's not just about the project, it's about how you are able to convince the judges that these are some of the strategies, these are some of the plans that you seek to implement to ensure the success of your project. So kudos to you, Annette Adoyobo. Thank you for making Ghana proud, and keep making Ghana proud. We'll definitely support you.
And that is all for this edition on the Hello Africa Morning Show, brought to you by the Association of African Universities and proudly sponsored by Vena Purified Water. Like I always say, if you want to quench your thirst with a significant impact on the less privileged, you should look at purchasing Verna Purified Water. And also, as the day goes by, if you want to refreshen your taste at the same time with a sweet flavor, look at Biko drinks. Thank you, Trillium Company, for supporting us on this program, and we say thank you very much. We hope you continue to support us. And also, if you missed this discussion, you can follow our social media handles at Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube. Naomi, we are wrapping up.
And on X at AUTV_universities, on Instagram at AUTV official. My name is Naomi Dako, and I have been doing this with
Isabella Tete Ahina. Do have a nice day.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.